Hello guys, today I'm going to show you a file system of the Datapower. So the objective of this session is to get introduced about Datapower file system and where to find what information on Datapower XI52 appliance. So right here we are logged in on the Datapower appliance, and right now we are logged in the default domain. So the first thing which I would like to tell you about Datapower file system is that there are two categories of directories basically you will find on the file system. The one kind of directory is replicated all across domains. So each domain has that directory. I will tell you what those directories are. And the another kind of directory is on appliance level. So for example, you can say that they are shared all across domains. So these are the two categories of directories which are found in the Datapower. Apart from that, some directories are encrypted. They are encrypted in a sense that you can upload a content inside that directory, but usually you cannot edit that content or you cannot view that content for that matter. So those directories are encrypted directories. Before putting into that content, you must be sure that you hold a copy of that directory, because sometimes you cannot copy from that directory either. Other properties related to directories are that some directories are visible inside the default domain, while other directories are not visible. So for example, since I am in default domain, so most of the directories are visible to me. And if I go ahead and change my domain, which I will do, you will see that some of the directories which are visible in default domain will not be visible there. So this is a quick introduction about directories and file system on the Datapower device. There are two places to look for when you are dealing with file system on the Datapower. The first is this default page, the page which comes after login. Here we have the file system, so you can click on it and you have that file system exposed before you. The other is to go with the menu, so type in just file, and you will see that there are two key menu options which are coming. One is file management and another is file system information. If you click on the file management, you will land on the same page had you click the file management over here. So both these options are same. The second is file system information. So this information will provide you something more detailed which is not present in the file system option. So let's go ahead and click on it. It will take a moment to load. Yeah, so we have file system information. This provides some statistical information about the file. You can see that most of the memory inside the file system are encrypted. So we have free encrypted space, we have total encrypted space, we have free temporary space, similarly total temporary space, and this is something which is used by the Datapower itself. So this is the information that you get when you click the file system information. Let's move ahead, go back to the previous screen. So I will say file, and here is file system information and file management. So let's click on the file management. Yeah, so we are on file management screen. So just to show you that had we clicked the folder icon which was present on the main screen of the Datapower, we would have landed on the same screen which you have just seen. I'm going back and I'm clicking the folder icon, and as you will see that I will land up on the same page which you have just seen. So give me a moment. I'm just going back and clicking that folder icon. Yeah, so I'm here. I'm clicking the file management, and it will now take me up to the same page. Right, so we are right here on the file management screen, and you can see that on top of it we have two critical information that is displayed. One is available space and one is temporary space. So what I can say about is that temporary space needs to be something. If that temporary space is 0 bytes or 0 m bytes, then you surely are in trouble. And I think you seriously needs to clean up your Datapower temporary directory, or removing some of your files from the Datapower. Usually this does not happens, but this happens if there is some problem with the Datapower appliance. But this does not mean that having a temporary 0 megabyte of a space necessarily means Datapower appliance has some problem. It may be that you have filled its file system so heavily that there is no space in temporary directory. Now let's move ahead quickly and learn about each directories of the Datapower. But before that, I would like to tell you that when we are usually dealing with a file system, our intent is to typically read and write files on that file system. We can do the same on the Datapower appliance itself, and for that every directory has actions. So if you click on the action, you will get a menu, and you can see that you have options of uploading a file. You have options of fetching a file. So uploading file is similar to writing a file to your file system or directory. Fetching a file is similar to reading your file system. And there are two special operations as well. One is create subdirectory and another is delete directory. As you can see, these options are grayed out over here. The reason is because in Datapower you cannot create directory, or you cannot delete an arbitrary directory. So for example, we are in cert directory right now. I have clicked the options associated with cert, and cert is a directory which is an encrypted directory and considered to be a secure. So delete directory and create subdirectory options are not allowed over here. But if you go to the local directory and see what happens, you can create a subdirectory over here, but you cannot delete this directory because this is a top level directory, so you cannot delete it. But if you go inside that local, and you can see, yeah, you cannot delete this directory either. But if you go further inside, yeah, so I think these are all system created directories, so we cannot delete the directory either. So I mean, the point to note here is that the GUI will provide you all the information that is useful for dealing with the file system, and wherever there is it is inappropriate that you do some kind of operation, that operations are already grayed out in the provided menu, so that anybody cannot accidentally do that operation. So this is the all idea about overall actions that you can perform on this file system. Now let's go ahead and do see one by one what is the purpose of each directory, and what are the characteristics of that directory. So the first directory is the cert directory. this cert directory is separated domain wise. So what that means is that, for example, you have several domains. For example, I have got several domains created in this Datapower device. Default is one that gets created automatically, but other one I have created. So if you go ahead and check in the EAI domain, you will find a cert directory there as well. So this cert directory is separate for each domain. Cert directory is encrypted directory, so you can upload content over here, but you cannot copy content from here. So for example, if I am in this cert directory right now, you can, since I am in the default domain, so you can see that all the cert directory, all the domains are listed over here, and if I click on each domain, I will see what is inside the cert directory of EAI domains. Although the folder is named by EAI, it is domain wise name, but the content which is displayed over here are the contents which are in cert directory of the EAI. So take an example. I will say this is the one content, BOS EAV something. If we go in the EAI directory and if we list the contents of the cert directory, we will see that all these files are listed over there. Similarly, cert directory holds content for other directories as well. So these are all the domains which are on the Datapower, and you can say that whatever is here, you will find the same content if you go into that domain and list the content of the cert directory. Now, as I said, this is a encrypted directory and it's not easy. I mean, sometimes it will not be feasible for you to list down contents to see the contents of the file which are present inside the cert directory. This is for the reason because the cert directory is intended to hold private keys and certificates of the partner, or you can say private key of the Datapower. So private key, since it is a very sensitive material, so Datapower will not allow you to list the content of that private key file. To show you that, I will go to EAI domain. So for example, it's a little bit slow, and that's why I refrain from changing the domain each time I'm telling you what to do, what to look where. So for example, I'm in EAI domain. If I go to the file system, yeah, so let's see what is cert domain, and you can see that the contents which were displayed in the default domain are also over here. And let's go ahead and check what is inside this. So if I click on it and I click actions and I click fetch files, let's see what happens. So it is not providing me an option to copy this file, and what I can say is that I will go back Yeah, I will go back and I will check another file. So for example, if I am in local folder, you can see the hyperlink is appearing over here. Usually when a file is allowed to copy, or file is something which you can extract from the Datapower, you can see that there is a hyperlink over here which is appearing, and when you click that hyperlink you will see the contents of that file. This kind of hyperlink is not appearing in the search folder. So even if it is providing me an option like I selected it and I said actions and I said fetch files, the options which you have shown earlier, that it is providing me a text box to enter some information, even if you enter that information, you will not be able to fetch that file. Ultimately it will get error out. So that's the whole idea. And you can see that even if I hover my mouse over here, there is no hyperlink that is opening up. So because this is a shared directory, a protected directory, hence contents inside it cannot be copied to any of your you cannot see usually the content of this file. So that's about shared folder. Now let's go back to the default domain, and let's see what other options, what other directories are available there. So I'm going back to my default domain. So let me go to the file management first. Right. So we have seen what is inside the cert folder. Cert folder is specific to each domains that exist on the Datapower. So it is a domain level directory. Checkpoints are something which are also domain level directory. Checkpoints hold, so whenever you make any changes and you create checkpoints in the Datapower, that checkpoints are specific to each domain, and checkpoint specific information are put inside the domain. So if you are in the default domain, you should see all the domains. So all the folders are empty because I have not created checkpoint in any of the domain. So these folders are empty right now, but these are domain level folders. Now there is config. Config is also a domain level folder, so you can consider that all domain level system configuration holds inside that config. The idea is that if you are in, for example, if you are in EAI domain, or you can say you are in student01 domain, there will be a file called student01.cfg. If you click that file, you will see that there is a series of commands. This series of commands are executed when a domain gets restarted. So they basically create objects or configurations that exist in that particular domain. You should not edit this CFG file, and they are typically system generated. Another is export. So whenever you export objects from the Datapower, so for example you have a multi-protocol gateway and you want to export it so that you can import this object to another Datapower, another domain. So that kind of export goes inside the export folder. This is also a domain level folder, and you can see that since I have mostly used the EI domain, so there are folders, there are zip files which are exported over here. So these are exported objects basically. So this is export folder. Export folder is domain wise, and you can easily copy the content of that export folder. All you need to do is to click on it, and there is a hyperlink that gets appeared. You click it and your download gets started. So here is download which is getting started. It's complete as well. So it's very fast. Now go to the image. Image is what? So for example, consider a scenario in which you want to upgrade the firmware of the Datapower. So whenever you upload that firmware image, which is basically a zip file or a compressed file, that file goes inside the image directory. The image directory is cleaned up once Datapower gets upgraded or something. So image is the appliance level directory, and it's not available in each domain. In fact, not visible in each domain. Okay. Local is something where you put your customized style sheets. So in Datapower, whenever we have to do a kind of programming, we write style sheets, and all those style sheets are usually get uploaded in the local folder. Since we are in the default domain, so if I click local, you will see local folders of all those domains which are here. So local is a domain level directory which is present for each domain, and right now we are seeing the local folder of EAI domains. You can see that this is the local folder of EAI domain. It contains all my custom files, custom scripts. It is allowed that you can create directories inside local folders. So if you are, say for example, if you are in domain, a particular domain, say if you are say student01 domain, so you will see a local folder over there, and there if you expand that local folder, you will not get structure like here, because this is a default domain. So we have that local files, local folders shown directory wise, domain wise. But if you are in a particular domain, if you click that local folder, for example, if you are in student01 domain, if you click that, you will see only HDD directory, custom filter, and all these 4 files. If you want to create a subdirectory inside student01, you click it and you create subdirectory, and a directory will be created over here. So local folder, we got it, and then log store and log temp. So these are for logging directory. I tell you the information. By default, logs go into the log temp, but log temp has a capacity to hold only 15 MBs of data. So log temp is something where we can hold only 15 MBs of data. So this is a temporary kind of directory. If you want to archive your log, then you need to go to the log store. So log store is also domain wise. Each domain has one log store, and each domain has one log temp directory. So you can find it there. PubCert is something which holds public certificate of public certificates, various kinds of public certificate of trust anchors. So for example, if you are using a browser, there are 80 trust anchors which comes by default pre-packaged with your browser, and similar kind of trust anchors are also available in the Datapower, and they are in the PubCert, so that you can utilize them. See, all these are pre-installed certificate that came with the Datapower. So for example, Thwate is over here, and here is VeriSign as well. So this is a kind of this is a typical place where you find all those trust anchors. Shared cert. Shared cert is shared across all the domains that are present, and you can say that this is a place where if you put a file, it will be visible inside all the domains. So shared cert is something, a place to put all those files. Say for example, if I would like to if I would like I have a certificate which I would like to utilize in all the domains, then if I put it in, say for example, local or cert, it will be available in that domain as well. If I need to utilize that certificate in other domains, I need to again get a copy of that certificate and upload it to that particular domain's cert or local folder. Local folder is not typically recommended for loading the certificates, so we load it in cert. But if you put it inside the shared cert, then the content will be available automatically, made available to all the domains. So shared cert is a place to go for that. Store. Store is a system directory. Give me a moment. Yeah. So there are two system directories. One is the store and another is task templates. These are usually not visible inside another domain, since we are in the default domain, so we can see that. They are system directories in a sense. Why I say the system directories is because they hold system level files. So I tell you specifically what they hold. Store is something which holds configurations files which are used by Datapower objects inherently. So for example, uh, in a multi-protocol gateway, you got a request as an XML and you want to transform it into the JSON, or say the vice versa. Then you need to apply appropriate transformation on the incoming message. Datapower has a built-in capability to apply that transformation, but how that built-in capability comes is because of a typical style sheet which acts on the incoming message and transform it into the another format. Now, every transformation, every style sheet transformation is based on an XSL file, and you will find that XSL file inside the stored directory. So if we expand the stored directory, you will have several files which are used by Datapower objects for their functionality. Another example is SQL injection. If you want to check the SQL injection, and you create a rule in the Datapower that, hey, whenever request is coming, perform the SQL injection check. Then you associate a particular configuration file with that step in order to tell Datapower that you need to perform SQL injection check. Those files are pre-built in the Datapower, and you will find all that files over here. So this is a typical purpose of the store. Store is something which is system level, but the contents of the store are visible in all the domains that are present, so that you can utilize this file system, you can utilize its files for building objects and rules. Task template is a pure system level directory. These templates are utilized by the GUI to render the appropriate formatting. So task template is something related to Datapower internal working and displaying the contents in the GUI and the formatting stuff. So this is the purpose of task template. Temporary is a very important directory, and it is you can say a domain level directory, that for every domain there is a temporary directory. Temporary holds many kind of it can hold many kind of information. It's like a Windows temporary directory, if I can make an analogy, a poor analogy of that, but yeah, it's a kind of temporary directory of Windows. So for example, if you are generating an error report on the Datapower, the temporary directory is the place to go. You will see that content listed inside the temporary directory. If you are doing packet captures on the Datapower, then temporary directory is the place where you will see your packet captures getting displayed. So it is a domain level directory, and it is specific for each domain. So for example, you can see that here are temporary files for this, and you can see that I go to student. Yeah. So here are files, and they are failure diagnostic files. So these kinds of files, temporary directory holds this kind of file. The important characteristic of temporary directory is that whenever you restart the domain or restart the appliance for that matter, the contents inside temporary directory are clear. So that's the purpose of temporary directory. So we have seen that there are a couple of folders present on the file system of the Datapower. Some folders are device level folders, for example task templates, and some folders are shared across other domains like shared cert, and some folders are specific to each domain, for example cert and typically the local folder. Some folders are encrypted, So you cannot copy their content from there, but some folders are there for working purpose. I mean, the purpose of those folders are such that you can upload files, you can create directories, and etc. and etc. And one such example is local. There are folders for logging, storing logs, and there is a temporary folder as well. So these are the folders which are displayed on the GUI interface of the Datapower. Some folders are not even visible in the other domains as well. So I went to the another domain and I saw that there are a couple of folders which are typically not visible over there. This is one example of design where Datapower shows you what you are entitled to see. So people who are entitled to be a developer role or something like that, they need not see the folders which are system level folders. So if you are in a domain, you may not be able to see other folders which are system level folders, for example images. This is one thing, but even with your GUI you will not be able to see a couple of folders which do exist on the Datapower device, and to see that you need to go to the command line interface in the config mode. So right now I am in the command line interface, but before that let's go back and see, hey, is there any image folder here? Is there any task template folder here? No, they are not. Why? Because right now I am in a non-default domain, so I will not see that folders over here. Yeah, so I was saying that even if you are in the default domain and logged in as a system administrator, you may not be able to see all the folders that are present on Datapower appliance. So to see that, you need to go to the command line interface. So I am on the command line interface of the Datapower, and right now I have issued a command called dir in config mode, and you can see that one folder which was not shown over there was store folder. So these are couple of the folders. There are backtraces folder. See this was not present over there. So yeah, DP cert certificate. This is the folder that was not present in the GUI. So even if you are in the GUI, you may not see all the folders that are present on the Datapower. They will be seen only in the command line interface. The reason for this probably is that this is what I assume is that command line interface is for more expertise users. So you can I mean GUI is something which most administrator, if you as soon as you get as a seasoned professional in the Datapower, you will see that GUI is something which is a little bit, although it's very it performs very well, but compared to command line it's less easy to use. So command line is something which most administrators use, and hence it is for power users. So that's why there are several folders and there are several options that are present in command line but which are not present in GUI itself. In some another video I will try to explain more about local, you can say, give me a moment. I was trying to find out the folder. Log 10, logs 2, audit, checkpoints, export, local backtraces. Hey, I forgot that. Give me a moment. I go back to the default domain. Let me see what's the folder name for file management. Yeah, so I was saying that there are a lot of files inside the store directory. So if you go and see, there are a lot of files inside the directory, and I will try to explain a brief about some of the crucial files that exist inside the directory so that you can utilize them in your object whenever we create an object in the Datapower for that, for example, in checking SQL injections or antivirus scanning, etc., etc. You can get more information about these on IBM site as well. So in some other video I will try to explain the purpose of some of the crucial files that exist over here. And that's all for this video. If you have any questions, you can directly shoot me on my email address, or you can post me post as a comment over here. I will try to answer those questions if I can. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. This is Ajita.